Hello everyone, welcome to Zen Go. I'm Vincent. Today we're diving into a topic that's both heavy and fascinating: prisons. When most people think of prisons, what comes to mind? Iron bars, high walls, dark, damp cells, right? But here's what'll blow your mind. The differences between prisons around the world are absolutely staggering. Some prisons are literally hell on earth, while others are so comfortable you'd wonder if they're actually vacation resorts. This massive contrast reflects something fundamental. Different countries have completely different philosophies about what imprisonment should be. Some believe prisons should make you suffer, while others see them as places for rehabilitation. Today, I'm taking you on a tour of the 6 most extreme prisons on this planet. Trust me, this will completely change how you think about incarceration. First, world's largest prison, El Salvador's human pressure cooker. Let's start with the prison. With the largest capacity, El Salvador's CECOT super prison in Central America. The name sounds intimidating, and it should. The full name is Terrorism Confinement Center. Just hearing that, you know they're not housing petty thieves. This place is packed with terrorists, extreme violent offenders, and gang members. How big is this prison? It covers 1.66 square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's like combining Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea and multiplying it by 1.6. But the truly terrifying part isn't the size, it's the capacity. This place can hold 40 people. Currently, it houses 15 inmates, meaning there's still about 2/3 of storage space available. Why does El Salvador need such a massive prison? Well, that's where this country's dark history comes in. Since the Civil War ended in the 1990s, El Salvador has been completely infiltrated by gang forces. By 2023, the country had 120 gang members. That's 2% of the entire population. If you only count adult males, 1 in every 20 men is a gang member. And that's just the official members. There are about 400 informal members who run errands and help out. So imagine this. In El Salvador, 1 in every 3 to 5 people has some connection to gangs. This isn't just a law enforcement problem anymore. It's a matter of national survival. In 2015, El Salvador's murder rate hit a terrifying 104 per 100 people, making it the most murderous, peaceful country in the world. What does that mean? On average, someone was murdered every hour. For comparison, the global average murder rate is 5.6. The US is 5.74. China is only 0.46. And Japan is an incredibly low 0.23. Faced with this situation, the young President Bukele cracked down hard. In 2022, he arrested over 70 people in 16 months, vowing to round up every gang member. The result? They ran out of prison space, so they rushed to build this super prison. But the conditions in this prison, honestly, they're brutal. Each cell is 100 square meters, which sounds spacious, but it houses 100 to 200 people. 4-tier metal bunk beds, no mattresses, no pillows, and each person has less than 1 square meter of space. A room with 100 people has only 2 toilets and 2 faucets. All eating, drinking, and bodily functions happen in this one room. What's even worse is that the lights stay on 24/7. Once inmates enter this prison, they never see sunlight again, and they never experience night. No recreation time, no family contact, no lawyers. They just completely disappear from the world. And remember, El Salvador is tropical, with temperatures constantly above 95 degrees F. The prison has no air conditioning, no windows, no ventilation system. This isn't about rehabilitation. It's about completely removing these people from society. The prison was designed with no intention of ever releasing these inmates back into the world. Despite heavy criticism from international human rights organizations, the results are undeniable. El Salvador's murder rate dropped from 104 to 2.4, transforming from the world's most dangerous country to one of the safest. President Bukele's approval rating hit 85%, making him the first El Salvadoran president to win re-election in nearly half a century. Second, world's smallest prison, a British pastoral imprisonment. After the largest, let's look at the smallest. The world's smallest prison sits on Sark Island in the English Channel with just 2 cells. One is 3 square meters, the other is 4 square meters. It can hold a maximum of 2 people. This prison was built in 1856. That's 170 years ago. The island has only 400 residents, who all know each other, and just 1 part-time police officer, who rotates among the locals. This prison hasn't held anyone for over 100 years. Occasionally, a drunk tourist might spend the night there. It's basically like an Airbnb at this point. The most recent serious crime happened 35 years ago. An unemployed French nuclear physicist claimed to be the rightful lord of Sark Island. He posted notices saying he would occupy the island the next day at 2 p.m., then actually showed up with a semi-automatic rifle. The island's part-time police officer was waiting for him. They chatted for a bit, and right at 2 p.m. when the guy reached for his gun, the officer knocked him out with 1 punch and sent him to the mainland for 7 days. He tried again the next year, but was arrested before even landing. This island is unique. It doesn't belong to the British government, but to the British royal family as private property. 500 years ago, Elizabeth I granted it to a nobleman, and it's been passed down for 22 generations. It's Europe's last feudal territory. The island lord symbolically pays £1.7 in taxes to the British Crown annually, the same amount for 500 years. Third, most comfortable and luxurious prisons. Norway's humanization experiment. The next 2 prisons are both in Norway, representing a completely different philosophy of incarceration. First is Bastøy Island Prison, the world's first ecological prison. This 2.6 square kilometre island houses over 100 serious criminals, but walking in, you'd think it's a resort. No iron bars, no high walls, no barbed wire. Inmates live in colourful wooden cottages, each with their own private room. Here's what's amazing. The prison only provides dinner. Inmates have to make their own breakfast and lunch. The prison gives them money monthly, and they shop at the island's small supermarket to buy groceries and cook for themselves. They work from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., raising cattle and sheep on the farm, growing vegetables, or working in workshops fixing bicycles and making furniture. After work is free time. In summer, they can swim and fish. In winter, they can ski. The island has sports fields, a gym, and saunas. They can call family weekly, and family members can even come to the island for weekend visits. But not everyone can come here. These inmates all start in harsh prisons and only qualify if they maintain good behaviour and have less than 4 years left on their sentence. It's a reward for good behaviour and an incentive for other prisoners. Even more luxurious is Holden Prison, which cost $180 million to build, the world's most luxurious prison. Every inmate has their own room, with a private bathroom, complete with tablets, satellite TV, desks, and wardrobes. The prison has gyms, recording studios, libraries, saunas, and kitchens that supposedly rival Michelin-starred restaurants. Why does Norway do this? The data speaks for itself. Inmates from Bastøy Island Prison have only a 16% recidivism rate, and Holden Prison has 18%, while the global average is 40%, with most countries above 50%. Norway's logic is simple. If you want to reform someone, punishment and torture don't work. Only rehabilitation does. While it might not seem fair to victims, from a societal perspective, this approach genuinely reduces overall crime rates. Fourth, strictest prison, America's buried alive philosophy. If Norway represents one extreme, then America's ADX Supermax prison represents the other. Located in the wilderness of Colorado's Rocky Mountains, this facility is called the Alcatraz of the Rockies. American prisons have 4 security levels, and ADX is the highest, designed for extremely dangerous criminals. There's only one in the entire US, housing over 400 notorious criminals, including terrorists, serial killers, and major drug lords. Mexico's top drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is held here. He could easily escape from Mexican prisons, but here he's completely powerless. Inmates spend 22 to 23 hours daily in solitary confinement in 7 square metre cells. The cells are made of reinforced concrete with no windows. Why no windows? Because windows create escape fantasies. Looking outside gives hope for freedom. No windows means no hope. Inmates are completely isolated from the world, with no social interaction or entertainment, no communication allowed. Their only activity is 1 hour daily, in an iron cage for recreation, basically just stretching. Because their cells are so small, the prison deploys high-tech security, inside and out, infrared lasers, pressure-sensitive floors, isolation fencing, everything you can imagine. There's even an automated defense system that won't kill you, but will definitely injure you if you try to escape. This place isn't about rehabilitation either. It's about permanently isolating certain people from society. Most inmates become living zombies due to prolonged solitary confinement and lack of human contact, with many developing hallucinations and memory loss. Fifth, most relaxed prison, Bolivia's autonomous kingdom. Finally, let's talk about the world's most loosely managed prison, Bolivia's San Pedro prison. Located in the heart of La Paz, the capital, it was designed for 600 people, but actually holds over 30. There's virtually no guard management, just a few gatekeepers who only watch the entrance. What happens inside is nobody's business. All new inmates must buy or rent cells, or they sleep on the floor. The prison has wealthy and poor sections. The wealthy area has refrigerators, TVs, air conditioning, and private bathrooms. The poor area just has beds. To live better inside, many inmates become entrepreneurs, opening restaurants and barbershops, providing services to wealthy inmates for money. The prison even allows family members to live with inmates. As long as you bribe the guards, anything can come in. This prison became famous for offering tours. Tourists could pay to visit inside, with inmates as tour guides showing them around. An Australian writer paid to live inside for 3 months in 2000, staying with a drug dealer to understand the inside story. He later wrote a book called Marching Powder that became a bestseller in 2002, making the prison even more famous. Why doesn't anyone escape? First, there are emperor-level leaders inside who won't allow it. Second, many people have bought houses inside, established jobs and lives. Going outside means no home and no work, so it's more comfortable staying inside. The end. After seeing these 6 prisons, you realize how vastly different human understanding of imprisonment can be. From El Salvador's pressure cooker to Norway's resorts, from America's burial to Bolivia's autonomous zone, each approach reflects different social values and understanding of human nature. Which approach is better? It's really hard to say. El Salvador's extreme measures genuinely transformed the country, from hell to heaven. Norway's humane management truly reduces recidivism. America's strict control genuinely deters serious criminals. Bolivia's hands-off approach at least doesn't cost the government much money. Perhaps each method has its reasons for existing and appropriate environments. But regardless, these extreme contrasts make us think, what should prisons actually be? Punishment? Rehabilitation? Isolation? There's no standard answer to this question, but understanding these differences gives us deeper insight into the complexity of our world. Alright, that's it for today's discussion. If you found this interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.